Caroline Lucas, MP for Brighton since 2010 and MEP from 1999 to 2010. Leader of the Green Party, I think. Serial Ramona, a person whose policies include being against fracking. She's a globalist that supports Remain with reform for the EU. She's a huge animal rights advocate and has even written papers on all the aforementioned subjects, including pushing for a people's vote. Along with her history of being arrested for protests and supporting certain groups that have themselves committed borderline terrorist actions, she's gotten into the news again. This time, though, she's the butt of a joke, after she made a somewhat initially misandrist suggestion. I say initially, you'll understand why soon enough. On the screen here is a letter that she wrote. Please pause, because I'm not going to have it up for too long, so you can read it. Her suggestion was to create an all-female cabinet with the intention to deliver a new referendum after a no-confidence vote is won against Boris, which is then in and of itself a suggestion that they could win and that they could somehow get him out of office quick enough, which they can't. Analysts and experts have indicated he can postpone it until after the 31st of October. It would take so long, and I mean, after the EU gave us the opportunity to continue dealing with whatever it was we were trying to deal with them saying, try not to waste the time, we lose our Prime Minister to a new one, Parliament goes on a summer recess, and then they're going to try and push for another general election. Totally not wasting time, everyone. Totally not. Amazing. Of those mentioned, it was all female leaders or highest-ranking people from parties, except for the Conservatives. So Joe Swinson of the Liberal Democrats was reached out to, Heidi Allen, Anna Soubry, Nicola Sturgeon, whoever's the deputy of SNP in Parliament. I think Diane Abbott was also reached out to. Nicola Sturgeon has said that she would back an all-women cabinet. Lucas has argued that women have shown they can bring a different perspective to crises. Let's forget here that the last Prime Minister was female and she micromanaged it. I'm guessing she's the wrong type of woman. During a BBC interview, Caroline Lucas tried to justify this, so I'm going to play her justification for it.
In my experience, I have found that women have generally been more able to put aside tribal concerns and to build trust more quickly. And there are times in history where we've seen that happen. When it came to the Northern Ireland Troubles, for example, there's been two women there who were instrumental in bringing around the peace process. If you look at the climate change talks, two women, Ségolène Royal and Cristina Figueres, who were instrumental in breaking the logjam at the Paris climate talks.
Because of all of this, she's been mocked by people like James Cleverly, and she has in fact been criticised by Diane Abbott. You know you've goofed when Diane Abbott does it, but then, considering the earlier mentioned other reason why this was not just a misandrist suggestion, it's understandable Diane Abbott would criticise it. See, many people have accused her of being racist, because the 10 women cabinet were all white. That is quite the diverse solution I see there. As an update to all of that, because it took a couple of days for certain things to happen, Caroline Lucas on her Facebook page, this right here should do it, you'll have to pause for it, has issued an apology of sorts. The apology isn't for the proposal, which is utterly nonsensical. No, it's because of the fact that all the women are white. Because the idea in and of itself wasn't already a bad idea in the first place. It is sexist to think that women can be the ones that solve this, because they're the only problem solvers, and potentially the way you've portrayed this, women are the one true problem solver and men are not good enough, because the person who was negotiating this really wasn't David Davis or Dominic Raab or Stephen Barclay, it was Theresa May. I'm not saying that's all women. No, a woman did it and a woman failed. Doesn't mean now we need a man to do it. No, we need people to do it. Not the British people. We are not negotiating for you. I am, however, suggesting that perhaps you get a clue. It's not rocket science, really. It is quite tiring at this point that people like you think you know better than those that voted to leave. I don't care who's negotiating it. Gender-wise, it means nothing. You have an entire cabinet of people providing ideas. Did you not notice that Boris Johnson's cabinet is quite diverse? If diversity matters, that is. Which it doesn't. The only thing that matters are the ideas they bring forward. But you're so stuck up about getting rid of Boris. You're not thinking about the consequences if you succeed. It's not about replacing him with a cross-party group. We've seen that already happen, and you know what happened? Chuka left them. No, we don't need a cross-party all-women government or cabinet. We need people to accept that they have lost and stop trying to stop people from enacting what the people wanted because you're scared of a consequence that would not have been brought ever forward had you not voted against the deal. The deal was trash, I agree, but it was either that or no deal. It was binary at this point. I accept no deal personally, but that's because I don't really care. I really don't.